What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seatbelt. Alright, now when you guys first see this title to this video, you're gonna be like, Dr. Trey, what are you talking about? Calm down. Relax. Hear me out. So, everybody knows that when the original 3DS came out, Nintendo launched it at $250, and then within, I think it was 3 months or 4 months, there was a massive $80 price drop, and the rest was history. But, looking back at that was a mistake. Not only was it a mistake to drop the price that early, it was a mistake to drop the price that much. And I'm going to explain to you why. So when the 3DS first came out, within the first 3 or 4 months, they sold roughly about 4 million, a little over 4 million units, right? Now that's good. That's not bad, right? But by Nintendo standards at that time, just coming off the DS, just coming off the Wii, they thought that was horrible. They went into panic mode and they slashed the price of the system to $169. Okay. And then they also gave the people that bought the 3DS at launch ambassador games like Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy Advance versions of NES and Super Nintendo games. Okay. To make up for it. And then after that, the system started to sell well, and it was all good in Nintendo land. But the question is that the real reason why it started to sell well? Is the price drop the reason the 3DS started picking up in sales? Or is it the fact that they started to introduce, good must-have games at that same time? Because before that, there were no big first-party exclusives really for the system at all. They let the third parties have the first 3 months, and the only third-party games really worth getting were a port of Super Street Fighter 4 and Dead or Alive Dimensions. Now, Super Street Fighter 4 is a great port, but that game was already years old at that point. All right. So they dropped the price $80. Then around the same time as the price dropped, they showed off 3D Land. They showed off Ocarina of Time 3D. And then the sales started to pick up. Now, I'm going to argue that those games being shown and launched had way more to do with the sales going way up than that price drop. Now, if you see that the 3DS went down to $169, and then they still introduced later more expensive versions of the 3DS for about $200, which sold fine. As a matter of fact, isn't the 3DS XL? I haven't been keeping up, but aren't the 3DS XL still about $200 still in 2016 and still sell? So that right there should show you that it wasn't really the price that did it. It was the freaking games. And the reason why I say this was a big mistake by Nintendo is because that mistake is still affecting Nintendo to this day. And it started with the Wii U. Now, one of the reasons too why I say that was a mistake for them to drop the price so quickly of the 3DS and drop it by so much is that it damaged the perceived value of Nintendo products. Now, when the 3DS was announced at $250, it was more than most people thought it was going to be. But since it was pretty much the only glassless free 3D screen out there, and none of us knew how much that was supposed to cost, We didn't really have that big of a problem with it because we thought that the system cost that much because it needed to, right? I mean, we knew that Nintendo prices their stuff so that they can profit, but when they dropped the price $80 without breaking a sweat, everybody was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. How much does this crap really cost to make? So that started raising eyebrows. And then from that point on, people questioned just how much these Nintendo systems were worth. From that point on. And you see it, the same thing happened with the Wii U. Once they announced the price of the Wii U and people saw that it didn't explode on the shelves, started to die down. You know what a lot of fans said? They said, oh, well, looks like we're going to get that 3DS price drop. And the people that bought it at launch, they said, well, I better get some ambassador games. And guess what? Neither of those happened. And I think a lot of the people that said they were going to wait for that 3DS-like price drop just got tired of waiting and said, screw it. Because it never came. The perceived value of Nintendo products from that day on was damaged. And if you don't believe me with the price point versus great games coming out, look at what happened with the Wii U in Europe. There were stores that were selling the Wii U, and this is within the first year of it being out, for as low as what? $79? And no one was buying it, right? No one was buying it. Then the system went back up to near regular prices when 3D World came out and Mario Kart came out, and then all of a sudden it's selling, despite being 3 times what they could have got it for before. Because while price does play a big factor, it all comes down to the games. It comes down to must-have games. That's what it comes down to. But you see the damage that they did with the 3DS at launch is even seeping even into the Nintendo Switch. I've seen people, even though Nintendo has stated that they will not be taking a loss on this system, there are still people out there expecting this system to be $200. And not only do they expect it to be $200, they want it to be $200. They want a 1080p screen on the controller, and they want it to be more powerful than the Xbox One. It's like, wow, y'all crazy. Okay? I said it before, I said it again. I'll say it again, I should say. It's not going to be a penny less than $299.99. It's not going to be a penny more than $299.99. If you think the system is going to be $200, you are in for a rude awakening. But, like I said, part of this blame goes way back to Nintendo dropping the price of the 3DS $80 when they really didn't need to.